Barriers to sexual intimacy are so normal and yet such a struggle. And something I really try to be aware of is not minimizing people's frustrations with this, not trying to make it sound like it's so easy if you just fix X, Y, and Z, everything will be fine. Because the reality is, that's not the case. Sexual intimacy barriers are present for a vast number of reasons, such as, first of all, unresolved traumas. If you haven't yet addressed the traumas from childhood or other previous romantic relationships, this could be creating either a fear of intimacy that doesn't let your partner get close, or anxious tendencies that might be pushing your partner away. Not feeling attracted to each other or lacking chemistry is actually a really valid and not often discussed barrier to physical intimacy. Especially if one or both partners isn't putting efforts into physical self-care. It's a hard but true reality, but just because you're in a committed relationship does not automatically equate to a desire to get frisky. Frequent conflict is another concern. If you're constantly fighting, there's a lack of safety to foster emotional intimacy. And without emotional intimacy, sexual intimacy is often one of the primary things to be impacted by this. And one of the most common barriers to sexual intimacy, not making time for it. Busy is such a frequent and overused excuse for why we don't take time to prioritize connection with our partners. And while I get that we often feel like there's nothing we can do about how busy we are, 9 times out of 10, this is not the case. We can always find time for the things that we choose to prioritize. So these are just a few of the many reasons that people struggle with sexual intimacy. And while they're incredibly common barriers, it doesn't make them any less frustrating or disappointing. If you're continuing to experience disconnection in your relational dynamic or in your sexual intimacy, it can be helpful to stop and check in on these potential barriers. Once you've identified a couple, or possibly a few, places that might not be going well, pick one and work together with your partner, or even maybe a professional, to identify some action steps towards change. Keep in mind that you can't fix everything overnight, but you can certainly put efforts towards improvements immediately.